What's up, YouTube? It's Andrew Fidella here. So recently I just been like having a bunch of like Yu-Gi-Oh thoughts in my head, I guess. So I kind of just went online, asked some friends what they want me to talk about, Yu-Gi-Oh related at least. Shout out to my boy Albert. So I'm gonna talk a little about the state of the game. I know some people want to hear me do financial stuff too. Might throw a little bit of that in there, but here I go. So we're going into Maximum Crisis. I'm sure most of you already know that. We got a broken ass field spell. That Dragonic diagram is insane. It's literally just the Fire King Island we always wanted. Pop a card, search for any true King or true Draco monsters. We already know about what all the true Kings do. And the true Draco, the new one at least, is ridiculous. It's basically like a walking mini towers with a Dryad effect. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just like driving. Fuck. Let me see. I fucking hate traffic so much. Where was I at? What is this guy? This guy's just like honking at me. And this guy can wait. Whatever. So basically, what's the best deck next format? If you're not playing Zoo, or you're not playing a deck that plays that True Draco card, or I mean not or True Dracos or True Diagrams in general. If you're not playing a deck revolved around those two type of archetypes, then you're just not winning on like a competitive level. I mean, you can go and say, "Oh, I win my locals every week with, I don't know, Subterrors or something." I don't even know who even plays that deck. I've yet to even talk to like a casual who plays Subterrors. It's unfortunate too, because I actually put a lot of money into that theme, and that's probably going to be one of my L investments this time around, is the Subterror theme. But yeah, you'll probably get those people, "Oh, I don't need to play Zoo, I don't need to play the True to Good Diagram stuff, I can win without it." It's like, okay, sure, if you're playing against your friends, you're not really playing competitively, sure, go nuts. But in all reality, you need to be playing Zoo, or you're going to need to be playing something that plays the diagram, because the cards are just too powerful. The cards coming out are just too powerful. There's a whole new tier system, and it's like, oh, what about Paleo? Paleo's still kind of full power, even though maybe less people side against it. Sure, I mean, you could go that route, but you're just like so reliant on winning a die roll. It's pretty insane. Like, if you're choosing just to play pure Paleo and not even that crappy Zoo Paleo, you're just asking to like go third every single time, because you need a setup, and your opponent's gonna make. If your opponent goes first, they're either gonna draw like 4 to 10 cards if they're playing that Fusion Substitute Zoo combo, or they're just gonna summon. They're gonna summon the True Draco, make it unaffected by traps, and your whole deck is useless. And even if you're playing against the Dino True King, they're just gonna make a board to make all your traps useless. So I mean, Paleo to me is just, it's dead, it's done. You can try to reason your way out of it, but you're gonna quickly realize it just can't compete. Like, the deck can literally not deal with the True Draco that becomes the towers. It just can't deal with it, because it's gonna be unaffected by traps, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So what am I a fan of, at least going into this format? I'm a fan of the True King Dino deck. Both versions, the True King Dino and the one that like splashes in Yang Zing. From what I've seen, like, you can do some really like cool stuff with it. I'm a fan of Zoo. It's Zoo with the True Dracos and the True Kings. More with the True King engine, not so much the True Draco. I think both versions are still really good. I still think both decks are going to be tier 1. I feel a variant with True King though is going to be a little bit more consistent and not as slow, because Ram just becomes really good with Leica now, because Leica makes the deck basically full power again, even if we have Rat at 1. What else? I guess the worst of the tier 1 decks is probably going to be the Demise True Draco. Now, I know, like, in Japan in Link format, that's probably like one of the best decks right now, is because everyone's in Link format over there. You can only ideally you can't really play a deck that like special summon spams. You're more focused on like a deck that works without the extra deck that can potentially special summon. That doesn't. It's not extra deck reliant. So that's why that version of the deck is doing so well over there. It plays very similar to like the old school Monarch, the Monarch deck with Domain. It's not. I can't say it's not consistent. It needs everything to go right for it to work. Like you need to win die rolls consistently. If you go second, you have to assume your opponent's going to be making a board, is going to have a solid turn one board constantly. So you're always going to be a situation going second where you need the True Draco like plus a trap and spell just to like deal with their board, and like other cards. Like you need to have like a 6-card combo hand just to deal with like a Zoo board or a Dino board when going second. Like it's just not. And the other downside to that deck too is that you can't play hand traps. Like you can't play Ash, which is probably like one of the best hand traps we've ever had in the game. And the way the format is right now, we honestly need that card desperately. Because I don't know about you, but I'm actually a little annoyed that Maxie's at 1. Because now Maxie is like a sacky card now. It's just like if your opponent, there's like nothing you can. You have to play like your opponent does have the Maxie because it's at 1. You have to take odds into your favor. If they have Maxie, then they have Maxie. It's just like it is what it is. If Maxie's at 3, then you can build your deck like, okay, I can still play full power Z, I can still play full but I'm gonna change the play style of the deck a little bit to be like, I guess, a little slower and deal with a grind game, because if I get Maxie, I can't do anything about it. But I know Maxie is a good probability because it's at 3. Well, now Maxie's at 1, so it doesn't. Your opponent doesn't get punished as much by playing a special summon spam deck. So it's like you better have Maxie to deal with my board, because most of the time I think most of the decks can usually play through one Ash and an Ogre maybe. It's just the only card most people can't deal with is the one Maxie. And then if your opponent does open the one Maxie, you don't have Ash to counter it, you're just like, really? I can't do anything about it. And then one of the biggest differences going into this format compared to when it was full power in Japan is like, I mean, Japan, I guess if you want to relate it to their timeline a little bit, they didn't have Norden, and we're going to have Norden legal with Instant Fusion at 3, which is a huge difference. That's like a huge power creep for us. But they had Excitonite still. We don't have Excitonite. They have the Outer Gods. I don't think the Outer Gods were really too relevant. I actually don't think most people played it. I have to double check on that. Instant Fusion is like the really big one though, because it just increases, and it makes your deck, it gives you a solid turn 1 board and increases your OTK potential a lot with the Dino version and with the Zoo version. It just makes the deck so much better. So I mean, it's honestly arguable that we're in a more full power format than Japan was when they had their decks at full power. I mean, and it's like I said, the only real difference, and the main difference is that we have Norden legal, and I guess Rat was at 3 over there, but the Rat at 2 isn't much of a hindrance now because of Leica. The Leica's ability to like revive them, like any of them, the Exceeds or in Ram, and then you go Leica, pop a Ram, special summon one that you can't overlay into now. It makes the deck so much more consistent. I mean, up here, like the only deck that can honestly compete that doesn't play Diagram is a pure Zoo deck, and they're probably going to be playing like 2 to 3 fusion substitutes because of that, and they're going to be drawing 4 to 10 cards consistently. But fair warning to those who plan on going that route, just prepare to get Retaliating Seed to death games 2 and 3, unless you're going to try to be a pro player and side those fusion substitutes out. But if you're doing that, if you're playing pure and not playing fusion substitute, I don't know what you're doing, because that's basically your win condition for that deck. It's just, the game's such a turn one right now. I mean, it's just crazy. The Dino deck can make boards with like Natarget Beast, VFD, Logia turn 1 with like 2 or 3 cards, and with the Yangzing one's ridiculous too, because you can basically do like the same thing, but instead of like either Natarget Beast or Logia, you end your board with Nine Pillars and Denglong, and then you send Chi-Win the Great. You send it's so stupid. You basically, like, there's different directions you can go with it. Like, you can negate 2 cards with just Denglong, because Denglong searches out 9 Pillars. So you dump Chi-Win with Denglong, you leave the Denglong on board, you set 9 Pillars, your opponent goes, you negate anything relevant with the 9 Pillars. Denglong is going to trigger, and so is the Chi-Win's going to trigger. You're going to special BN, special Chi-Win, sync for Herald Arclight, and you have two free negations. So you're negating 2 like relevant cards for free. And you're putting your opponent on better have something. Those last 4 cards in your hand better be amazing, because you're still dealing with a board that's potentially like VFD or Nat Beast or Logia with everything else. And I really don't. I don't think there's one best deck. I just think, like I just said, I think there's multiple tier 1 decks. And of the tier 1 decks, the decks either have to be playing Diagram or they have to be playing Zoo. It's pick one, because that's what you're stuck with. And I guess on the financial side a little bit, if you haven't already bought your Zhang Zing stuff, do it now, because that stuff is cheap. I guarantee you'll see multiple decks at the next YCS the top with the, like, it doesn't even need to be playing Dino. It could just be True King Yang Zing. Like, the deck is still really good. I think, like, just True Kings with, well, I guess the only Dino they really play is like Miscellaneous and the Soul Eater. I've seen some versions like that, but for sure that deck is kind of bricky a little bit, but it's still, like, powerful enough to make ridiculous boards. And the other thing is too, it's probably, of all the tier 1 decks coming out, I want to say, like, a True King variants are probably going to be the best of the Go Second decks, because it's just the fact you have special summon conditions. You can trigger off your Ram-Rams, the Babysaurus, the PT Dragons, all off of the Earth True King, which is the best one. So, like, if you're playing True Kings, not playing triple the Earth one, you're crazy, because it's literally the best one. I think that's really it for now. Tell me what you guys think. I'll do more videos in the future. If you want to ask me questions, I'll try to answer them. Shout out to Pro Play Games. I think they're gonna put it up on their channel, and you guys can all hear me rant and stuff. Yeah, so click subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.